Good evening. Happy Monday evening. So we're getting into the middle of January now. I don't know about where you are, but here in Ohio, where I am, it's been raining all afternoon. So it's cold and rainy out. It's kind of nice to be inside and not have to go out this evening. So today I'm going to talk a few things about kind of taking care of yourselves and things to look at as you're going through your day and unplugging and that kind of thing. And I'll talk a little bit about other things towards the end, so I'll get into that later. So if you look at kind of going into through your day and how you take care of yourself and kind of spending time, maybe spending some time outside and kind of drinking in the beauty of the outside. You can feel kind of this restoration and healing just from nature, hearing the birds and realizing that, the birds and the animals in nature have all the things that are provided for them, because they have food and shelter and all of that they don't have to make. It's provided for them. Obviously, some of the animals have to make their own burrows or homes or whatever. Birds make nests and those kinds of things, but they do that automatically. So as we think about, the things that we need, what is it that we need to kind of feel safe and be able to go through your day or your life and understand what it is that you need. And I think some of that is looking at, how nature is provided by God and what it is that He provides in the lives of the animals. He also provides for us. So maybe taking a moment to be thankful for the beauty around you and just receive it into your soul and understand that, there is a higher being that helps to get through life and to take care of you. And obviously we have, our own kind of things that we can do on our own. But I think relying on God to help you through your day-to-day life also is very beneficial. I'm learning more and more to rely on, God and my faith to understand where I need to go next. So that's kind of where I want to start. I think that looking at that and taking care of ourselves is as important to God as it is for ourselves. And then, as you look at, your life and the things that you use or are involved in, you can think about what is it that I'm doing with my life and how that's important to me and the things that are important to me, and can I focus on those. So one of the things you can look at is maybe your devices, kind of learning to unplug a little bit from devices, because there are so many things that we get kind of pulled into. I don't know if you notice, if you go on Facebook or go on Google to look for something, there's all kinds of ads that kind of come at you to have you, you should go look at this, or do you need this, trying to sell you something. And even notifications from your phone. You get notifications all the time about an email or maybe a message from work, or all kinds of things. So maybe look at a time of day that you can maybe turn off the notifications, and whatever that means for you, whether it's at 6 o'clock in the evening, or don't turn them on until 10 o'clock in the morning, or just have some time that you can either start or end your day without having that interruption, so that you have time to kind of transition to your home life, maybe from work or from getting the kids down to bed, and then you have a moment that you have peace. So turning off your phone or notifications or getting rid of that maybe will help so that you don't have to react to some notification or thing that's kind of beeping or chirping at you all the time, because we just have interruptions all the time, and it's hard to stay focused on maybe what you feel or what you need. If you're constantly being interrupted by other things, it's hard to kind of internalize what it is that I need right now if you always have this thing that's kind of interrupting you. So maybe what that means is looking at kind of cutting back on social media or your phone use, even up to 50% from what you're doing now. And, all of our phones, or at least mine does, tells me how much time I spend on social media. So looking at that and thinking, okay, for the next week, I'm going to cut that down to, whatever time that is for you that you feel like you can do. And I don't think you should, not be on social media or not have you know your notifications ever. I don't think that's realistic. Nobody's going to do that. But I think cutting down on it so that you have some time to reflect on what it is that you need, and maybe understanding better about what it is that you need. So being kind to yourself, maybe being more forgiving to yourself, that it's okay to have all of these things, but now I want to be more reflective about the pace of my life and what it is that I want to do with the time that I have. This 24 hours that we have is all we have in a day. We don't get more time in a day just because we've, kind of pondered away our time doing things maybe that aren't as important to us. So looking at maybe reducing that time, maybe finding a way to get whatever it is that we get from that social media kind of scrolling to unwind or whatever. Maybe just sitting for 5 minutes and doing nothing is better than kind of this mindless social media or playing on some kind of game on your phone or whatever, and figuring out what is it that you really need in that moment, and allowing yourself to feel that and to understand what it is that you want. So listening to kind of how you talk to yourself. What is kind of, are you harsh or unforgiving to yourself? Maybe you have too high of expectations of things that you think you should get done in a day. Maybe you pile all these to-do list things on yourself, and then you get to the end of the day and you're just really harsh to yourself because you didn't get all of those things done on your list. And take a really hard look at what is important on that list, and maybe delegate some of the other things. Can your kids put the dishes away tonight, or can your spouse fix the meal for tonight, or maybe have one day a week that you get an hour to go do something that you want to do, or one day every other week, or an hour every other week. If you can't do it very often, at least have some time that's dedicated just to doing something that you want to do alone, that you don't have to have your kids or your spouse or your phone. Maybe have some time that you don't even have your phone with you for 15 or 20 minutes. Can you give up 15 or 20 minutes without your phone that you're not available? And I think we can practice that, kind of look at being kind to yourself and being intentionally create space so that you can have time to breathe and not be so rushed to go from one thing to another. We go, our calendars are always full. We go from home to work, or taking kids to school, and then we come back home and we have all these things, clean the house and do laundry, and there's always something to do. And just because you take 10 or 15, 30 minutes an hour, 1 or 2 days a month, is not going to make those things go away. You're still going to have all of those things to do, but at least you'll have the energy and the space and feel kind of better about yourself and taking care of yourself and understanding what it is that you need, so that you kind of don't have this dizzying pace all the time, kind of figuring out how you can plan, maybe planning a vacation coming up that you want to be able to do, and unplug and not have everything kind of pushing at you to keep filling up all of the space. I know it's been interesting for me because I recently cut down my hours at work. So now I'm off an extra day and a half, where for the last, I don't know, 20 years, I've worked 40 plus hours. I've put in a lot of time at work, and working in healthcare is one of the, I don't know, I kind of have one of those things where I'm kind of, you feel like you're constantly on and constantly figuring out, what's the next thing that I have to do to help the people that I'm taking care of. And even when I was at home, I had this kind of, I need to be busy constantly doing something. And it's taken me probably about 3 months to kind of let that go and relax and learn to sit and not constantly be doing something all the time. And it's really taken some time for me to do that. So don't kind of beat yourself up or be judgmental of yourself if you just really have trouble with that, because you have done that kind of so long, and maybe you've seen your parents or your family members that, we kind of all get into that hustle, kind of, we have to be busy all the time kind of thing. And it's okay to just sit and do nothing for a little bit. I know I was reading a book about it's acceptable to take a break and maybe drink some coffee or eat a snack, but it's not acceptable to just sit and do nothing, because maybe your coworkers will think you're doing nothing in the day, if they see you sitting for a moment. But who cares? I mean, if you're getting your work done, they are not going to say anything to you about taking a minute to breathe, take some deep breaths and listen to some music and do that kind of thing. So I think that finding time to kind of unplug, get outside, just sit and relax. We spend so much time indoors because, we're in our homes, we have all of our technology and stuff. So we're constantly sitting, looking at things. We go to work in a car or a bus or whatever. And then, at our jobs or during the day, you're inside, especially here in Ohio when it's cold and rainy outside. We're not outside, but even on days that it's nice, sometimes I'm sitting inside thinking, why am I not outside? It's sunny outside, and I just keep doing what I was doing. So, just transitioning to figuring out how to get outside and be less on all of those devices, and just remembering that being in touch with nature and, kind of refilling your soul with some time that will help to heal all of that nervous system stuff that we have every single day, where we're constantly have this high catecholamines and just feeling anxious, just having times that you just feel like there's not enough time in the day and I just can't get everything done. And I'm so stressed that I don't know where to turn next. And that's kind of, that snowball where you start having health issues. If, you keep going on and on with that kind of thing, you may start having high blood pressure or having some sort of anxiety, or maybe having this, GI issues, and all of those, or maybe headaches, all of those things are a sign that you're just overstressed. And if you don't do something now before those things get worse over time, you could have, some serious health issues as time goes on. So you want to, kind of figure out how to intentionally create space, kind of transition when you're at work, transitioning to home, maybe take a couple of minutes to unwind and allow yourself to let go of whatever the stress is from work, or feeling like you don't have the time to get everything done, or you have some project that you're working on that you just didn't get everything finished for that day. Just kind of transition from home to work, or from work to home, and take a couple of minutes to just sit in your car, or if you're driving, you can, as you pass somewhere on the way home, this is the place where I leave work at work and I'm starting to transition to home, and turning off that work brain, letting that go so that you're able to be present when you're at home with your family and with your kids, and just, taking the time. And it doesn't take very long. I know sometimes you can just, when you first get, I do this a lot. When I first get out of the office, I sit in my car and I just sit there in silence for a while, maybe 2 to 3 minutes, and that helps me to unwind and let go of whatever I was thinking about at work, and letting it go. I kind of do the same thing in the mornings as I'm driving to work. I've gotten so I leave my radio off, kind of don't have in, any sound in my vehicle as I'm driving to work, so that I can think about, my day and what it is that I want to accomplish today. Now, obviously, I'm seeing patients, so I'm, taking care of people all day. Um, but starting the day with a positive thing that, I have control over how I feel about the day. So, even if you're maybe not specifically doing something that you enjoy every single day, you still can make the decision to think about it in a way that I'm helping people, or at least that's what I do. I think about, I'm helping the people that I'm seeing throughout the day, showing them ways to be healthier with their life, because I'm in cardiology. So most of my people that I see have heart issues. So understanding that I'm helping them, and this is really what I've been called to do, to work with people and help people to have a better life. So, and that's how I look at it now, as opposed to this is a job that I just have to go to every day. So, if you can change kind of the mindset about how you're doing things, and even with kids, you just get frustrated with children over time. I shouldn't say everybody, but I'm sure that most mothers have times that they're just frustrated with their kids because they're not listening, or they're not eating what they're supposed to eat, or something's going on that can be frustrating. And you can just think about that this is your calling, and this is you're called to be a mom, and you're doing the best you can do, and realize that you can take a couple of minutes if you need it. Go to the bathroom, shut the door, they'll be fine for a couple of minutes. Now, obviously, if you have an infant or somebody that needs care, you can't do that, but you can always find space if you look for it. That's what you have to figure out, is where is the space in your life that you can incorporate some time for you to unwind, and not fill every moment with something else. So over this next week, I know in the state of Ohio where I am, the weather's not going to be the greatest, but it's still going to be warmish the next couple of days to get outside. So I'm going to try to do that over the next couple of days, and kind of enjoy this transition. Hopefully we won't have too much cold, snowy weather this week. So that's kind of what my plan is. So think about, what is it that you can do to get outside, even if it's just for a couple of minutes, to see the beauty all around you, hear the birds, maybe look at the sunshine, if you can see the sun in your area. So, and think about reducing your cell phone usage, maybe cut down your social media, even 20% from what you're doing now in the next couple of weeks. And maybe you're looking at changing something with your health or your fitness or your diet or whatever. Um, Everybody's kind of in this mode in January, usually, of some kind of change that they're wanting to make. And I have this group that we're doing a book study on, Atomic Habits. Come to me. James Clear's book on atomic habits. And I'll be doing a Facebook, or not Facebook, but a Zoom call in a couple of weeks. If you want to, hop onto that and come with us to look at this book on atomic habits, kind of how we develop our habits and how to change habits and all those kinds of things. If you have any interest in that, you can come join the Facebook group. I'll post the link here in the comments down on this group if you want to join in. We've just barely gotten into the first third of the book, so you're not behind if you want to come in and join us. It's not a difficult read, so it's interesting to think about, how you form habits and how you can change habits if you're interested in anything like that. So come and join the group. I post in there every day or every couple of days, kind of some information about the book and ask questions and that kind of thing. And then in a couple weeks, we'll just do a live Zoom call with everybody in the group that can come. It's on a Monday evening at 8 o'clock is when I'm planning on doing that. So, come to this live and then we can do the Zoom call after that. So, yeah. So if you're interested at all, go ahead and come join that group. I'll post the link in the comments below this video. Okay, well, have a good evening.